Greetings, friends. So good to see you out there. We are so happy that you are joining us for another episode of Let's Talk Travel. For those of you who don't know, I'm Pat Hand, the owner of Dancing Moon Travel. We have been around since July of 2008, and we specialize in providing unforgettable travel experiences customized to suit our clients' preferences and requirements. People have diverse interests, and we try to customize our trips and get you into the right providers and the right experience for your own travel preferences. Groups, by land, by sea, however you like to travel, we can help you with that. Have been doing this for the past 14 years, saving clients time, money, and mistakes with their fabulous vacation experiences. Now, with that out of the way, I want to welcome a very special guest this evening, Robin Mountain, who along with his beautiful wife, Stella, that's a picture of Stella who couldn't join us today. They are the owners of Ntaba African Tours. And welcome, Robin. So glad to have you with us. Robin, I don't remember exactly where it was, but I do remember the episode, I think back in 2012, as near as I've been able to discover, that I ran into you guys at one of the big travel shows. And folks, when we go, travel advisors, we go to these big conferences, and there are hundreds of providers out there, and we go up and down the rows and talk to probably 100 different people over the course of time. And trust me, by the time I leave there, I have no idea who I've talked to and who does what. It's, I try to take good notes and things, but you come out there with your whole mind muddled. But when I talk to Robin, every year there's one or two of those providers that make a major impression. And that year for sure it was Robin and Stella. I never have forgotten them. We connected and we have been in touch. And really, there's nobody I'd rather work with in the travel industry and entrust our treasured clients into their care. And folks, we've got a bunch of amazing images coming up. So stay tuned for those. Stay tuned for our drawing at the end of this. We've got some amazing merchandise and a special offer that you don't want to miss out on. So just don't, stay with us until the end. You will be glad you did. I've got some questions to start off with for you, Robin. Could you tell our listeners how the name Ntaba came about? What's your background that got you into the travel industry? Just a little bit about your bio.
Absolutely. Both my wife and I are fifth generation Africans. We speak 6 languages, and it's our privilege. The word Ntaba is our last name in Zulu. It means mountain. And we actually started off many, many years ago, and I can hear you still remember that, Pat, as Ntaba Tours. And somebody once said to me on one of my safaris, what does Ntaba Tours mean? It was like, well, my name's Ntaba, and we take you on African safaris. And they said, well, that's what your company name should be. So we are actually Ntaba African Safaris, and we specialize in travel to Africa. And as you mentioned, one big word that I don't think you emphasized enough was mistakes. So many people will look at brochures, especially travel agents as well, will look at brochures, and even clients will look at brochures and say, oh, I want to go here, I want to go there. Not forgetting that the Kruger National Park has got 5 different airports that you can fly into for the Kruger National Park. So, we are fifth generation Africans. We take you back to Africa. There's not one lodge that we'll put you into that either Stella and I haven't stayed in. And that makes it very special. Unfortunately, I can't lead every group that we have anymore. Even coming out of COVID, we still have too many happening. Stella and I have just come back from Africa. If you see my Facebook page, you'll see so many groups there at the moment, just having an amazing time. And Pat, I think the privilege that I want all your listeners to know is the privilege that I'm going to have of taking you to Africa. That. As much as you remember us from the travel shows, that's something I would love more than anything else, is to take you to Africa with us.
Oh, I love that, Robin. It's just, I when I think about travel, I think Africa is one of those places that just comes up on pretty much every traveler's bucket list somewhere, and usually near the top for a lot of people, and for good reason. What is it about the Ntaba African safaris experience that sets you apart from some of those other providers in the industry?
I think one of the things that sets us apart is what we said originally is we don't send you to Africa, we take you. And, if it's me leading the group or Stella leading the group, we hold your hand from Washington, D.C. back to Washington, D.C. Otherwise, the guides that I have working for me in South Africa, they're not, Des knew Stella before I did. So, relationally, we go back a long way. Wayne, everybody that I use or who works for Ntaba in Africa knows my grandchildren, and I know their grandchildren. And that makes a big difference. When I have clients arriving in Africa and people, and sometimes it's honeymoon couples. Of course, we don't go with all our honeymoon couples. Although you did see that I married a couple last week or 2 weeks ago. But, when people arrive at lodge, oh, do you know Robin and Stella? And people, it's a family thing. That a lot of people enjoy having tea with my mother in Cape Town. That's
I love it.
Yeah.
Your roots go deep.
Our roots go very deep. If you look at one of the guest speakers that we have when we're in Cape Town, his name is Christo Brand. Because he's a white South African, the same as myself, around about the same age, we were drafted into the military, 2 years military or 5 years in jail. So, what did we all choose? I went into the military and he went into the prison service. And he was actually Nelson Mandela's prison warder. And just the most amazing man. This man's son used to receive letters from Nelson Mandela signed with love, with lots of love from Uncle Nelson. Wow. That's a fascinating man. We had him as a guest speaker with Linda Allen, a travel agent out of Atlanta, super group that Stella and I led. And Krista was our guest speaker that night. My mum was there as well. And just the family roots go back a long way. And, this is just some of the interesting aspects of going with us. We don't have packages. When people ask us for packages, I say I carry those when I come out of Kroger. We have a skeleton that we'll put meat on, depending on your budget, depending on your age, depending on your mobility. Those are the lodges that we'll put you into. But, generally flying to Africa now is out of Newark on Atlanta. Newark which is on United, or out of Atlanta on Delta. United are trying to look at bringing in more flights as well as Delta directly to Cape Town. But your direct flight is from the USA into Johannesburg. And then depending where you're going from there, we will organize your itinerary. The smallest group we've had is one. And I didn't mean to do this. I just did this accidentally. The guy said to me, Robin, it's just, and he wanted this itinerary and that itinerary. So I said, well, how many people in the group? And he said, oh, just me. So without even thinking, I said, well, don't you have any friends? And then we do larger groups as well. But what I really love are I just call them my special interest groups. We have people who love botany, and we'll go to Kirstenbosch Gardens, which is a UNESCO site. And when we're in the Victoria Falls, yes, we look at the Victoria Falls, but we actually go into the rainforest and we see the unique botany in the rainforest. And it's just. And again, honeymoon couples, we are overbooked with honeymoon couples at the moment. And I had the privilege of actually marrying somebody in one of the game reserves about 2-3 weeks ago. And so, it's just, we make you feel like family going with us. It's out of 18 years of running our business, we've never had somebody come back and say, I wish I hadn't done that.
Wow. That is fabulous. That is fabulous, Robin. And you really, I had kind of an outline of questions I wanted to address here, and you've already answered my next question. So we're all set in that. I'm going to tell you, I poached one of your videos off of your YouTube channel. I think it's where I got it. That or your Facebook page. I want to play this for folks. Watch this, and if this doesn't make you want to go pack your bags, hang on just a second, Robin. Let's take a look at this.
Perfect.
All you can say to that is, wow. That's fabulous, Robin. I just love that video. It just sets such an amazing, it just makes you want to get ready and go. And folks, I would just say, do go. We aren't promised tomorrow. If you're planning for 8 or 10 years down the road, we may not have that privilege of still being here. I see that. So I encourage people, don't put off indefinitely those bucket list trips that you really wanted to, however you book them, however you end up going, just don't delay. Sometimes life doesn't give us opportunities 10 years down the road. So make the most of the time you have today. Just a word of advice for me. Robin, you sent me some amazing images. We have some great photographs. And just to make clear, you are quite a photographer.
Thank you, ma'am. I mean, this guy next to me over here, this was in Botswana, a young cub and the mother. And, with that entire video that you watched, we shot that. We shot the video, and we shot the stills as well. And that's something, when I have people say, "Oh, you need a marketing manager?" I say, "Really?" That is what I've done. That is what you'll experience. I mean, these groups that I've just had now, one of the things that I love doing is turning around in the vehicle and looking at your faces before I look at the animals. That's the first time you've seen an elephant in a while. That's the first time you've seen a leopard. The time before last, we had a leopard that stole a kill away from a cheetah. Can you imagine that natural interaction of these animals doing it, and the growling and the snarling, and you're sitting very safely in the vehicle because we don't hurt them, we don't shoot them from the vehicle, and we don't feed them from the vehicle. We're not looked at as food or foe. So that's why they leave us alone, and we respect them. We don't carry a weapon with us when we go out there, because we've got what we call reverse gear. Okay, if we see the body language is wrong, we know to get out and move.
And the animals get the right of way out there. Robin, I think what I want to do now is just kind of click through some of these amazing images that you have sent us, and just let you share any insights and just provide any dialogue that you want to, just as we click through some of these amazing shots that you've taken over the years.
Perfect. Eh? There we go. That's what it feels like. For every night that you book, you get 2 game drives, a game drive in the morning and a game drive in the evening. And this is what the vehicle is. It's an open vehicle. The chap sitting on front is known as a tracker. Of course, the guy driving is the game ranger. And you sit on these elevated seats so that you're not looking at the back of somebody's head. usually 3 on a seat. Some of the lodges we use have just 2. And, if it rains, we put in a poncho, we carry on with the game drive. But generally, you'll have the late afternoon rain, which is what we miss, and then we go out in the evening. But what's beautiful about that is you hear and you sense the animals around you.
Oh, fabulous. Here's a picture of you with some elephants.
Exactly. And, this is at one of the game lodges, and the elephants were coming to drink at a water hole. And, this is how close we get to them. But, we don't interfere with them. We don't go and, these are our wild elephants. Yes, we do interact with elephants that we have in an orphanage up at Victoria Falls. But it's done very safely. It's done within the confines. The only corrective tools that things that the game ranger or that the rangers use with the elephant, there's a piece of soft plastic black pipe, and that's all. And they just will push and prod them with that, and that's all. But when elephants are in the wild like this, we respect them, and they will respect us.
Great. Here's another animal that can get your attention.
Okay, this is actually very sad because this rhino was poached a few months after this photo, and this is one of the reasons why I'm saying go on these game drives, go to go. Who says rhino are going to be with us forever because of poaching? But again, if you look at this vehicle, the chap on the front, his name is Rogers, very, very, very good friend of mine, and look at what the people are wearing on a safari. You don't have to get dressed like Crocodile Dundee. You can have short sleeve, long sleeve. Absolutely no malaria prophylaxis is needed because we spray around our lodges. And as I often say to people, there's only one shot that you need, and that's a shot of whiskey when you get there with us. No, for Southern Africa, no shots are needed. And please, I was speaking to somebody from a travel bureau the other day, or travel clinic, and she said, Robin, we are ripping people off. So I'm now on media that I say do not go, but please, go thoughtfully, okay? Because just stop to think, a lot of the people giving you advice in these travel clinics have never been to the destinations. So, as I say, coming with Pat and I to South Africa, you're not going to need any shots, and certainly no malaria prophylaxis.
Yeah, we did when we went to the Amazon. They more or less required us. We had to have a yellow fever shot, and we had to take the anti-malarial prophylactic. And you know what, Robert? I never saw a mosquito. I never got a mosquito bite. So that surprised me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's one. I don't know. I got this thing. I love hippopotamuses, hippopotami. What?
Hippopotami.
Yeah.
And collective noun is known as a raft or a crush of hippo. And I mean, if it's a bit that any bigger, but there we go. Look at that eye. It's just, a lot of people say, they kill the most people in Africa, but stop to think they're killing local people who are walking around at night after a party or a binge, and they happen to just bump into one of these very territorial animals at night, and their tusks are very sharp. But hippo don't come running down the path at your game lodge saying, Pat, can I have you for breakfast? Because a hippo is herbivorous. They only eat vegetation.
Very, very good. They just people just need to respect wildlife in general, and when these big, huge animals, they can be territorial, and you have the prey animals, and you have the animals that prey on other animals, and they do what animals do. It's the natural. I mean, it's how God created the universe. So,
Absolutely,
we respect that.
Mm-hmm.
I love this shot.
I love it. Stella took this picture of me, and it was just to show the respect. I'm quiet. I'm lifting my camera up slowly. Okay, so of course it's the daytime, so I don't need a flash, and I could shoot away at that elephant as long as it stood there. Both males and females have tusks. I can't really tell if it's a male or female. I can't remember, of course. But, again, it's showing them the respect, and we get that respect. What I always say about life, respect begets respect. I mean, disrespect, And yeah, that's just me doing what I do best.
All right. And this is one of your guides, I guess?
This is one of my guides, and Eric is one of the most amazing men. In fact, Eric and my mum are the biggest friends out. Eric lives in Soweto, and he's the best guide that we have to take one around Soweto, to take one around Johannesburg. He's a qualified guide. You can see we're both wearing our national guiding badges that we had to take the exams for and get the diplomas. And this is, I mean, Eric is family to me. I tease him about this picture. I said, "Why are you looking at me with with those crazy eyes?" But no, he just, this is who we are. I look beyond color, I look beyond sexual orientation, and I look beyond gender and religion. Come to Africa and enjoy her.
Fabulous. And here, I can't believe how close you guys are able to get to some of these animals,
And
again, in a very safe manner.
I'll tell you why. Because we don't drive up to them and like, boom, here we are. We'll drive what's called a block. So we'll assume where they are coming out of the bush. We'll park our vehicles there and we'll allow them to come towards us and then mingle through us. So you can imagine I was in a vehicle taking a photograph of the other vehicle. A lot of people think I got out of the vehicle and took the photograph. Can you imagine how those elephants would have reacted immediately? No, the other vehicle had a family with it, with two young girls in it, and they were absolutely, I spoke to them later that afternoon. They were crying. Hours afterwards, they were just crying. They said, sir, we just didn't believe the privilege that we could have. And, myself as well, I still cry on these trips. This particular herd, you can see the big matriarch. She's the big one that you can see whose eye is in focus there. And she was just making sure that everybody was safe. But again, we didn't. When she showed irritation by flapping her head from side to side, we just moved back. The other vehicle just moved back. We gave her space. And so it's the ability that we have to read the animals.
That is, and that just comes with years and years of experience. You can read these animals. You can tell when there is any kind of issue that you need to. You're constantly aware of what's going on around you in these situations.
And that's why we have the guy on the front of the vehicle known as the tracker, because two minds are better than one, four eyes are better than 4 ears. So we're listening as well, and you're reading. Pat, what do I say? Yeah.
That's just a beautiful sunset there.
It's just amazing. That's the Drakensberg Mountains in the background, and it's the end of a long day, and it's just, I've often taken pictures like this because, we all want animals here and animals there and water holes here, and sometimes we just got to stop and I've been criticized for using this expression, but I'm going to use it anyway. Africa is an aphrodisiac to our souls. It really is, because I had a lovely group in Africa in the same game lodge over Halloween one night, and there are quite a few dead trees from the elephants eating the bark around the tree, and the excitement of the people to have photographs taken with these big trees standing up like that and shining a light, and as I said, their souls were just excited.
That is amazing. Now, Robin, kind of switching gears a little bit, I know that Africa is on the bucket list for a lot of different kinds of travelers. One that pops into my mind, I deal with a lot of photographers. I know a lot of photographers. I can't take a decent picture for anything. So I so admire those of you who have that eye and that skill with a camera. I think I've taken 2 or 3 images in my entire lifetime that I really like, that I say, wow, that's a great picture. But otherwise nobody wants to look at my pictures. But I go around with some of these people that I have an opportunity to travel with, and I'll be right there with my feet in the same place, and we get back and they start displaying these incredible images that they've taken. And I'm totally amazed because I was standing right there. You guys see things differently. So guys, if you're a photographer, goes without saying, you just need to have Africa right at the top of your bucket list. There's no better destination no better place to go for that. Robert, I'm going to just a few miscellaneous kind of questions. Boy, I'm looking at the clock. Where this time goes, I don't know. But I'm just going to fire off a few little miscellaneous thoughts that came to my mind. And if you could just give us a little insight of your knowledge. What surprises people when they visit Africa? What takes them by surprise?
I'll say certainly the most surprised animal is the giraffe because of the way it walks. And I think, a quiet surprise is that Southern Africa, and I'm differentiating a bit between Southern and East Africa. Southern Africa is predominantly English speaking. And people say, wow, all the signs are in English. And I think what most people appreciate and enjoy is that, especially working with Ntaba African safaris, it is seamless. We have Zoom meetings before they go. We have, when clients are over there, we set up WhatsApp groups that we can chat and discuss. And they are, I think the most surprising thing is that they are so grateful that everything works out as well as it does.
Fabulous. What about best time of year to travel to get a pleasant temperature and lots of animal activity? What would you, and is there a time that you'd tell people to kind of avoid for their travels?
13 months of the year, girl. Because it's so hard to say don't go in June, July, August, because that's when a lot of teachers have, that's the only time they have off. It is winter time in South Africa, but when you're telling somebody in North Dakota what winter time is in South Africa, he says, that's summer for us. So, honestly, every single month of the year. And Southern Africa is not plagued by seasonal rains as what you are in East Africa. Just don't go to Kenya and Tanzania in January and February. I've seen some lovely cheap itineraries out for that time of the year because you're going to have swimming lessons. So really for South Africa, it's basically any time of the year, and we will give you a trip of a lifetime.
Fabulous. And what's the funniest thing that you think has ever, remembering that we have a generic audience out here, G-rated, what's the funniest thing that you can say has ever happened on one of your tours?
Oh, funniest. I can't think of, yeah.
Okay. All right, good. Well, in your opinion, people are always speculating on this. What would you say is the most dangerous animal in Africa? And have you had any close encounters?
I think the most dangerous animal is an American tourist that is pissed off because they haven't seen what they want to see. No. But, Pat, you might laugh at me. There is no dangerous animal. We are the most dangerous animal out there. People, snakes. Hell, come and walk with me in Kentucky. I'll show y'all more snakes than y'all can see, on a walk. Again, I'd say the most dangerous animal is, excuse my French, is a pissed off animal. And, we'll keep an upset animal, we keep away from them. Or let's say an elephant in musk, but he wants to do something that we can't help him with. Okay. So we just don't want to be near him. Okay. It's learning to read the animals. And, as I say, I think the most dangerous animal in Africa is on 2 feet.
All right. I totally get that. I see that. And we've kind of touched on this. How is the coronavirus affecting the African continent, South Africa?
We've got way bigger problems: tuberculosis, HIV/AIDS. We've got starvation. We've got way bigger problems. COVID came, COVID went. It decimated the travel industry, and many people were working at game lodges, keeping the grass mowed, keeping things clean, just to take food back to their families at home. Stella and I went in July and August last year to Southern Africa. That was South Africa, Zimbabwe, Botswana, and Zambia. I'm fully vaccinated here in the USA, tested negative everywhere. Didn't have a problem at all. Went to East Africa in September, October, traveled everywhere, didn't have a problem at all. Just come back from South Africa and Zimbabwe, didn't have a problem at all. It's under control. They have taken it very seriously, but as I say, travel.
Yes. Yeah, take reasonable precautions, mitigate your risk, be prepared, travel safely, but travel, folks. You can wrap yourself in cotton and stay home, or you can live your life. And most of us in the travel industry, we jump in down both sides, firmly on both feet. Just take those trips, folks. This virus is going to be around, and we just do what we can and can live life. Um, Question that I wanted to ask you about that test, that pesky test that we're required to take on return to the U.S. You help you arrange that, I assume, for your travelers, that we have to have that test before we can get on our flights back.
We do, and it's a nominal $20-$30, and it is so easy. In fact, it was too easy. I said to the guy, "Really?" I said, "Do it again." You do it right there in the airport. You pay your $20 or your $30, and they take it. And I mean, you're sitting there. You haven't even had time to get onto the internet yet, and the guy saying, "Here's your certificate." And it's like, a certificate, And then the funniest thing is I get to the ticket counter, and I'm so proud of my certificate, and I'm showing them, and they say, "We don't need to see that." I get to the gate, they don't need to see that. I arrive in America, and I'm showing, "We don't need to see that." It's like, why did I do it? But as I say, we make it seamless. I mean, you saw one of the ladies wearing a cap when she was there. When you travel with us, we give you a jacket, a cap, we give you an electrical adapter. And you are fully guided every step of the way when you travel with us. There's no. We've had people say, "Oh, do we have to get a cab?" It's like, a cab for what? We take care of every. In fact, we don't take care of every meal, because when you're in Cape Town, we allow you guys to go down to the waterfront and have a good time in the evenings, and that's like San Francisco, and just get out and enjoy it.
Exactly. What about budget-wise? Just ballpark. What should per person cost for a typical traveler coming to do, one of your traditional type itineraries? What should they budget for that, Robin?
Okay, perfect. You're looking at about 10 to 14 days on the ground. And now I'm going to exclude international and local air, because we all know today it costs this much, tomorrow it costs double or less. So what it is, you're looking at between $4,500 to $6,500. And the way I say to people, divide your days by your dollars, and look at the quality, accommodation, transfers, hotels that you're going to be looking at. And as I say, $4,500 to $6,500. And for a lifetime bucket list, I think it's worth it.
It is definitely worth that and more. And I just today have been working with somebody who needed to fly her son to meet her in Ghana, which is West Africa. But I was shocked at the airfare. It was less than $1,000 round trip from him flying out of DC.
Yeah.
He's staying about 10 days visiting with his mom there. And so I was pleasantly surprised, because I was figuring twice that, and it was pretty affordable, all things considered. I can't hardly fly to the West Coast here for that.
Yeah.
Well, Robin, thank you so much for joining us this evening. And after those amazing images and the video and all that you've shared, I am sure that our audience is all blown away. And folks, if you are planning a trip to Africa, Ntaba African Safaris, you cannot do any better. Just let me know if you want more information. We'll connect you directly with Robin and Stella. I also mentioned a special offer. So, folks, if anybody who books through the month of June, anytime in the month of June, you book a tour with Ntaba African Safaris, we're going to provide you with our Africa Travel Pack. This has our amazing Dancing Moon travel tote bag packed with sunscreen, insect repellent, a compact medical kit, an LED flashlight, and 5-star rated binoculars, a value of over $150. And if you book prior to departure with Ntaba African Safaris, we will have that in your hands.
And I will also throw in a bag of Ntaba African coffee. That's what.
Oh, cool.
Well, And of course, they get the jacket, they get the cap, they get the adapter, they get the book, they get the app. We actually put the itinerary onto an app as well. So that's everything.
Wow, we're just
for sure.
Yeah, you have to take an extra suitcase for all the good stuff you're going to get, folks. Finally, don't miss out on any of our episodes for coming up in June, because we're once again going to be talking. Our Dancing Moon travel contractors, our agents, are going to be talking about where in the world we've been. We've all been on the go lately, so we're going to be talking about our recent travels. And I am going to tell you, those who are listening live tonight, we always do a drawing. This week, I have one of our Dancing Moon travel mugs, one of our mouse pads. There's not a better quality mouse pad on the planet. And we're going to pack it into one of our branded tote bags. So all of that, if you're listening live, I want you to type in the comments right now, Ntaba, Ntaba, Africa. And you live listeners only, you will be entered into our drawing for this evening's live listeners. Robin, thank you again.
I will put in an Ntaba coffee mug as well.
Oh, cool. I'll let you know who's our winner. I'll get you that information so you can send that out. So please, folks, type that in right now. Great merchandise we're offering for you tonight. Robin, thank you again. We so appreciate you and Stella and Ntaba African Safaris. You guys are amazing.
We appreciate you, Pat.
Okay, bye. Bye, everybody. Tune in again next week.
Bye-bye.